Hello, my name is Martin Coward, and welcome to Noonday. Excuse me. Welcome to Noonday Meditation and Contemplative Prayer Power Hour. We have been gathering every day since this pandemic started to create a virtual sanctuary to love and support each other, free from the drama in the world. And I got to say something. I did bring a little drama in for intention, because I brought some drama in because I want to solve the drama. And if you read my post about about Joe Biden pardoning people, whoo, Lord, it certainly has brought up all sorts of conversation. But I knew that. That's why I did it. Because I'm on a mandate here. I want to be really clear about you. I have a mission right now. I am on a mission. I'm not here to have a political debate with you. I don't know about the merits of proper pardon or not pardon. That's not what this is about. I'm here to find a solution. I'm here to support the president-elect's, the Nixon of this country's mandate to unite this country and get this virus under control. And people's lives are at stake. And I don't care about anything else, quite frankly. I care about one thing: uniting this country, getting behind the president, uniting this country, and getting this virus under control. And let me ask, but I'm going to change my mandate. I'm going to change a little bit I'm going to throw out a question for you today. How would you feel today if you woke up this morning to the news that Nancy Pelosi was the acting president working with Joe Biden, the president-elect, to solve these problems? What if you woke up to the news that Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden were at work to resolve this problem to save people's lives around coronavirus? That's the most important thing right now. Any other political debate is just secondary. The merits of why he should get a pardon, and but I do think we can use the power of the pardon to get this maniac out of office. And I don't use the word because a wounded animal is dangerous. We'd have a much more productive 2 months ahead of us. That's 2 months. That's 2 months we can get ahead of this game. And I think that's important. I think that's very important. It's important to me. And if you've got a grandmother out there or a mother, let me ask you a question. This is a life and death conversation. Hey, Michael, how you doing today? As you could come, put your comments in. I want to hear your solutions. I've come up with a solution, by the way. I came up with a solution yesterday to end this crisis immediately and get to work on solving it. I'm looking for a solution. I don't want to talk about the problems anymore. That's over. I want to talk about a solution. I want to talk about how we get this country back on track and how we unite ourselves, but more importantly, how we get ahead of this coronavirus and start saving some lives. Because it really comes down to this question. If you knew that pardoning the president and the vice president, I'm going to change my revision. If you knew that pardoning the president would save someone's life, one person's life, is it worth it? It is to me. If it's somebody's grandmother, somebody's wife, somebody's husband, somebody's child, that's what matters to me more than anything else. That's all that matters. And I want leadership in charge today where that's the most important thing on their agenda. And it's everything I have heard out of both of those people's mouths tells me that that's what their agenda is to solve this problem, get this virus under control. And if we can use the power of the pardon to get that, why not? Why not? Who cares? I care. I care about the grandmothers and the mothers and the sisters and the children out there who are going to die unnecessarily if we don't stop this, get this under control now. We don't have 2 months right now. Because every single minute that we waste trying to solve this on some politically correct way is people losing their lives. So my mandate, I'm looking for a solution, and I'm going to use it. I'm not here to have a political debate with people. I don't have any need for a political debate. But I do have a mandate for myself, and I've created a mission for myself, and that is to support the efforts of the new president-elect to unite this country and control this virus. And that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use everything I got to do that. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. Both sides of the aisle. Because that's a mission we can all get behind. I don't care where you go to church. But I'm tired, exhausted, arguing with my brothers and sisters about who's right and wrong. And I'm exhausted reading the news about people who are dying from coronavirus and getting sick. So I want a solution. That's it. It's just that simple. And it comes from the heart. Because I care. I care more about people's lives than I do about being right and the punishing Trump. That's just not, it's just secondary to me. It's just secondary. And it's heartbreaking to me in many ways. It's heartbreaking. Hey, Mindy. Hey, Mindy, how you doing? You know, if you read my post, it's created. I posted it yesterday for a reason, because I wanted to get people's reactions from it. And Lord, has it been exciting? You know, people took it as me wanting to get into a political debate about whether we should pardon the president. I don't care about the pardon the president. I want to use the power of the pardon to get him out of take his power away. And Pence, I'm going to revise my conditions. By the way, I'm going to revise my conditions. This is the conditions. Biden will come out and publicly announce that he will pardon. He will promise to pardon Pence and his family, Trump and his family, but they both have to resign immediately. Immediately. They don't get to go pardon their friends and go do all kinds of stuff and start a war in Iran or anything else. Immediately. We stop this immediately. And we create a team. And guess who would be the acting president? Yes, Nancy Pelosi. And think about that. That's going to make a lot of Democrats pretty happy, that in itself. They may not like the pardon part, but they're going to like the fact that now you got Team Pelosi and Team Biden running the country. That's going to make me feel good. I would get up and dance in the streets because I know we're going to be led by people who care about ending this virus. Now, not 2 months from now, but now. And I'm not delusional. I'm not delusional a bit, my friend. I'm not the least bit delusional. I'm talking about the power. Use the power of the politic. Use the power of the pardon to get something we need. And we need to get these 2 men out of office because they're dangerous and they're wounded. And there's nothing more dangerous than a wounded animal. And to think something differently, you're delusional. And you can call people. I don't particularly like to be called delusional. Okay, you don't come on here and call me names. I'm not going to call you names. It's disrespectful. I came up with a solution. You can come on here anytime you want to. I'll invite you to come on here live as my guest if you can come up with a solution to solve this problem as quickly as possible. And that's what I've done. It's just my idea. And I'm not the only one talking about it. I can guarantee you, I am almost 100% certain that the Biden camp is already talking to the Trump camp about this solution. I'm just sending out a little bit of forerunner to get people prepared for it. This is what's going to happen. I don't know that's going to happen, but I know it would solve the problem. I know it would solve the problem. and get us into a solution. That's all I care about. I don't care about the political parts of it, but I do care about my brothers and sisters who are dying every day, who are sick and worried and miserable because they're afraid they're going to lose their mother or their father or their child. It's heartbreaking to me every day. So that's all I'm saying is be respectful. Yeah, I agree. I am respectful. I'm just saying, don't be disrespectful to me. I am very respectful of people. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear but don't make it personal. I just came up with a solution that I think works. Bring your solution that works. I created this platform as a place for us to share ideas that will work and solve problems from the heart. And to me, there is nothing more powerful than the power of prayer and the power of forgiveness. There's nothing more powerful than the forgiveness. And maybe the pardon is a way of forgiving the president. And you know what? It might be the first time in a man's life he ever experienced, love and forgiveness from another human being. Wouldn't that be transformational? So, yeah, definitely be respectful. I'm very respectful. This is not about me disrespecting anybody. But don't call me names. Don't say I'm delusional. That's disrespectful. Quite frankly, I don't mean that. Yes, he is. He is developing a task force, but the current administration is doing everything in their power to prevent them from making that stick, to make it work. Creating a task force is not enough. We need to have the task force working today, not in January. Now, people are going to be dead by the end. So why not do the inevitable? Use the power of the pardon to get his power away from Trump and into the hands of people who can use it for the betterment of others. That's what we're talking about here. Use it for the betterment of others. This comes from my heart. It doesn't come from, I'm not suggesting this because it's going to make me, there's nothing in this for me personally. I didn't suggest this idea because it's going to make me rich or it's going to make me powerful. It's not going to make me anything. It gives me nothing except that it gives me the joy and excitement of being able to live into my mission, which again is to support the president-elect's mandate to heal this country and control this virus. That is all I care about. That's all I'm going to be talking about. Is to create that groundswell of support. We elected him. The political conversation is over. Now, how does he use the power of the presidency to solve this problem? And the one way that came up to me yesterday, was he pardons he pardons both the president and the vice president if they resign immediately, and they're no longer a threat to this country. Because without their power of the presidency and the vice presidency, they have no power. So let's talk about that. Those are real facts. This is not a political. Those are real facts. And I am grateful that I'm not the only Democrat talking about this. I'm not. This is a conversation that's going to be coming more and more into the conversation, because it's the one thing that will actually work. So I'm just putting out to support it, to get people to begin to understand it and think about it from a different perspective, from a non-personal perspective, maybe. I don't think that the COVID. I don't think the COVID-19 vaccine has anything to do with the political game. The fact that there's going to be a vaccine is inevitable, But what right now we need to do is we got to distribute that vaccine. And with the current administration in power, that distribution and the creating at that distribution channel is being hindered. I mean, the other day the president said he wasn't going to let the state of New York have any vaccine because he was mad with them. I mean, really? That's what's got to end. That is what's got to end. That kind of nonsense, that kind of meanness, cruelty. We need leaders right now who are going to take this and run with it today. Begin to figure out how we're going to distribute this vaccine around the world in an equitable and fair way. Of course, we're going to get a vaccine. I even heard the other day that they got some kind of mouthwash they've come out with now that kills the virus immediately. They're going to, just like HIV and AIDS, we are going to get on the other side of this pandemic. We're going to get on the other side of this virus. But to me, it's the sooner the better. And right now we have this great big obstacle in the way, and it's called the Trump administration. And they're doing everything they can in their power, as long as they have power, to keep this from moving forward. And I'm saying, get them out of power. Whatever it takes, get them out of power so we can move this forward now. I can't bring somebody back to life after they're dead. And people are going to die over the next 2 months, and even further because it's going to delay the distribution of the vaccines. Why not? Wouldn't we all sleep better? Wouldn't we all wake up better if we knew that? Now think about it. Suppose you wake up and you're a Republican, and you wake up to the news that Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden are now running the country. They're the team running this country. How you gonna feel? I don't know. I'm not a Republican. But I know how the Republicans feel about Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. But how might they feel if they know that it saved their mother's life? Which is more important? Or saved their granddaughter's life? That might change their hearts, wouldn't it? The things they put in place and the things they began to do now to save lives, save their mother's life, save their grandmother's life, save their husband's life. That's what we're talking about here. That is why I'm talking about it here on a spiritual platform. And let me tell you something else. Who is my leader? Who is my spiritual teacher? Jesus. Jesus is my spiritual teacher, ultimately. I learned from Jesus. I learned by him by example. And what was he executed for? He was a leader, a revolutionary leader, a rebel for non-violent resistance against the empire. So don't tell me not to bring spiritual, religious things into this space. Our leader died because he did that as a Christian contemplative. So to me, to pardon the president, to make this act happen, could possibly be the most revolutionary, nonviolent act against the empire ever in the history of this country. Yes. It could be. I'm not talking about what could be. And I don't know if they support his ideology. I'm not sure what his ideology is. Let's keep that for a while. I'm not sure if they know what his ideology is. What is his ideology? Do you know what his ideology is? I think they blindly support him because they see him as a savior to their fear and their pain. I don't know. And we don't have and we don't know what we're going to have. Maybe by pardoning and taking this course of action, we might end up with a Democratic Senate. Right now, we do have a House majority. And right now, we do have a Democratic president coming into power. And we have a really good shot at having power in the Senate. That's what I believe. I don't think we're going to have. I think people are going to vote from their heart. And I believe Stacey Abrams is doing this. But let me ask you a question. You got two people praying right now. One outcome. You got Senate Majority Leader. What do you think he's praying for? You think he's praying to get his power so he can help the world? Where has he ever demonstrated anything he cares about anything but himself? So his prayers, you think his prayers are going to be answered? Do you think God's even listening to his egoic needs to maintain power for his own benefit? Or do you think God might be listening and responding to Stacey Abrams' prayer to bring out the vote, to elect officials who actually care about the people they serve and are going to make a difference in the world for the betterment of others? Which one do you think feels better? Which one are you praying for? Don't get caught up in these negative stories about the future. Get into the positive. Paint a picture that supports a worldview of love and support in creating social economic structures for the benefit of every single person on this planet. Not just for the few. Those are the prayers God's listening to. And those are the prayers that God's responding to. Because that is the truth. That's what God is. God is love. God is unconditional. God is creative. So a prayer that reinforces that creative genius within you and the world is what's going to happen. And you remember what Jesus said on the cross when he was dying in agony? Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. So maybe there's 71 million Republicans that need to be forgiven. I responded to a post back in March, and it said something like this. It said, President Trump is going to go down as the most hated president in the history. And I thought, oh my God, I hope not. I don't want any more hate. Wouldn't it be better if he went down in history as the most forgiven president in the history of the United States? Do you have the courage to let go of your resentments and forgive him for his actions? I did a whole hour workshop on that, where I actually forgave the president. I went from anger and frustration and furious and to a place of gratitude and joy. There is nothing more powerful than the power of love and forgiveness. It changes, because nothing else is going to change the world. And we need some real authentic change right now. We need some real authentic change, and we've got that with the leadership we currently have. I'm just reading this. I don't know more about anything, Joe Biden. However, as much as I heard his words, he knows the man to love. And whoever loves people can easily forgive the enemy. I think the elected president. Yes. Yes. I don't know that, but I can say this, that Trump does not have any interest in resolving the problem. Nothing has shown me in Trump's behavior. He's been quite the opposite. He's ignored it, quite frankly, and says it's going to go away. So we have to realize that we do have a dangerous animal here. Can't put our head in the sand and just wish it go away. We got to do something. We got to take action. That's your work. That's your work. You just claim that I have a big shadow around intolerance, and I'm not sure right now I can forgive him. There is, you just named, you and I both do shadow work. There's your work right now. Because if you can get through that shadow, you're going to be free, my friend. But that's what's got you in prison. You just minted it. You just told us, the world, what your shadow work is. And I would suggest you go through it. You can call me on the phone. I'll set up an hour with you, and I'll take you through an exercise to show you right now how to go through a radical forgiveness exercise. I'll do it on the phone, by the way. Anybody here, you can set up an hour. I mean, I'll do it for free. I do it with my clients, but I will do it for free for anybody who's dealing with forgiveness and needs to forgive somebody, who's dealing with resentments. You call me up, and I'll set up an hour to do a Zoom call. I'll take you through a radical forgiveness exercise, and you won't be you'll let that go. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. If you want to work on that shadow piece, my friend, call me up and I'll set up a time with you and we'll get it done. Because there's your work. You just admitted it. I know you're being honest. I work with you. I know we become the Mankind Project. That's what we do. We do shadow work. We look at our shadows. We look at the things that are keeping us from being free and being open and being loving. I'm doing that. That's what I hope I'm doing. I'm putting people's up there now. So yeah, let me hear from more of you. Okay. I'm just explaining. This is why I create this. I'm creating a platform for us to share what we're feeling right now. I don't want to go into political debate, but I do want to hear how you're feeling and how you might want to solve this. I want to hear how I came up with my idea. Yes, I can too. I haven't been in New York City. I agree with you. I'm feeling clear and know there are things that I can be doing right now to be. Yes, that's exactly right. We all should be wearing a mask. It's right at the bottom. Wearing a mask to me is a simple act of kindness to tell the world you love yourself, you love your life, and you love your neighbor. And those are wonderful things we're doing. Yep. And keep doing it. Yeah, keep doing it. I agree. I agree. I do the same thing. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been in New York City since March 10th. Not that I'm afraid of it. I just don't have a need to go. I stay home. People say about lockdown. I don't go out of my house except occasionally maybe go to the post office and wear a mask or go to the grocery store. Do things that I have to go do. I rarely eat out. I can make those sacrifices. I gladly make those sacrifices to protect myself, my husband, to protect my loved ones, people working in the hospitals. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I agree. It really matters. And of course she's scared. It's a life-threatening disease. It's a life-threatening virus. 200, almost 200, is it 250,000 people in the United States have died almost? Of course we're scared. Who wants to die early? That's what I'm talking about here. That's why I'm saying time is of the essence. That's why this is an urgent. There's an urgency here to put people in power that care about us. I'm not worried about people saying how people act. You know, what's President Trump doing right now? Watching TV and playing golf. How's that helping anybody? I don't care whether he rots in prison or not. I care less. And I certainly don't want to drag. And Biden's already said he's not going to take this country into into prolonged investigations. I don't want to. I want to move forward. I want to heal the things that divide us and solve this problem with the virus. Now, I don't want more people to die. I just don't. Do you? I don't know. I know you don't. Who else got something to say? I want you to be honest, Michael Keaton. That's what we do. Well, I'm honest too. I'm absolutely honest. I'm not calling you any names either. There's no thought or idea or perception that's wrong. It's just yours. It's valuable. I know you're scared. I'm scared too. You know, I don't want any more. I am exhausted. I'm exhausted looking at the news of people dying. What makes it even more maddening though right now to see the people in power in this country who don't care. So get them out. They don't care about us. They don't care about things. Get them out and get them out now. Why wait? Use the power of the pardon. Wow. I just think it'd be we'd have a much more exciting 2 months. That we could get a lot accomplished in 2 months. If Nancy Pelosi and with Team Pelosi and Team Biden right now running the show. Think about it, wouldn't we? There, hey, Audrey, you've been quiet. What do you think? You always got some good wisdom here. Bring in your thoughts today because it's about time to meditate. And let me say, I don't know. I don't know if Biden will do this or not. It was just an idea I had. It seemed like a good idea to put this to end this crisis right now. That's it. I'm not married to it. It is right. But if it solved the problem, I'm up for it. Again, that's all I care about is saving lives right now, protecting ourselves, protecting the world. You know, we've got a man right now who's, the other day he threatened to go to war with Iran or something. That's all we need right now. And he's dangerous, people. As long as he has the power of the presidency in his fingertips and he's a wounded animal, he's dangerous. And for the betterment of all of us, let's take that power out of his hands completely. And my solution is that Biden come out and make an offer. I will pardon you. I will promise to pardon you as my first act of president if you and your vice president will resign today. And I know it's going to be something revolutionary. It'll turn the world upside down. That's okay. Maybe that's what we need, some authentic change. We might need something revolutionary to change the world right now. And I can't think of anything more revolutionary than love and forgiveness. That's my idea. That's what I got. That's it. So let's get into that space. Let's get into that space. And meditate. Enough of me pontificating. Maybe I'll get a new insight. Maybe you'll get a new insight. Why don't we pray for a solution? Why don't we pray for I'll agree that I will pray to let go of my new idea as a solution for a better idea that might come up in my prayer. I love that. I think the last time I was in New York was the same time we were at that Toastmasters meeting on that Thursday. That was the last time I was in New York, and I think you were at that meeting when I spoke about. I just at the last minute changed the topic of my speech and talked about the choice between money and a life with COVID-19 coming into it. We hadn't even been in quarantine yet. Yeah. You are a hip age girl. You're doing exactly what we can do, praying. That's all we can do, love and pray and heal. Pray for healing. There we go. See? I love this. This is what we come here for. To share our stories, share our fear, share our shadows, share our love. Safe place to be vulnerable. We're not going to call you any names. You're not going to call me any names. We can love each other. We can respect each other. And we can learn and we can grow. And we can help heal this planet. And we can help put this coronavirus behind us so that people quit dying. Raise your arms in the air. And let's meditate. Let's pray. Feel that energy in your hands. Feel that energy in your legs. Feel that energy in your heart. Feel it. Feel what it's like to be you. Feel what it's like to have the power to raise your hands. And put your hands in your lap. And feel what it's like to be able to speak. The power of speaking. And feel what it's like to be heard, and feel what it's like to listen. What is listening? What is speaking? Let's do a little conscious breathing. And that's just what it sounds like. We become conscious of something we do unconsciously all day long. Breathe. We just simply breathe. Breathe and be present. And notice you can control your breath in certain ways. You can make the in breath a little longer or a little shorter. You can make the out breath a little longer or a little shorter. You can hold your breath, the top or the bottom. If you want to take back control of something you can take control of. Your breath. At least you can while you're still living. And that's something to be grateful for. So as we sit here, becoming more and more conscious of our breathing, getting into silence and stillness, allow your mind and your brain to soften a little bit. Just soften enough to begin to untangle, release, let go of any thoughts and opinions and judgments you may be having. Let go of any thoughts, beliefs, and judgments you might be having about this conversation today. Knowing they're not right or wrong, good or bad. They're just conversations. They're just ideas we're sharing. So let them go. Let those go to open space for new ideas, new creative solutions to move us forward. Hold on to nothing. Let it all go. Let go of all your stories, all your narratives. What does it feel like to be you without all that? What does it feel like to be you without thinking, but simply feeling? What are you feeling like? Feel deeper into your body. Feel deeper into the unknown to create space for newness, a new beginning, a new perspective. So you can let go of all the old and open your heart for new, creative ideas. Creative ideas from the heart. And then what's it like for you to be a servant, to be a warrior, to be in service to this heart space within you, to surrender completely to the power to serve others? What does it feel like to hold that power? What's that feel like within you? What does it feel like to be a magician? To have the power within you to transform and change the world, including yourself. That's powerful. What does it feel like to own that power? Feel deep into that power, the power of mystery, the power of magician. And what about your sovereign energy? That king, that queen within you that has only one care, and that is the care for the larger realm. What part are you willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the world? That's a king, that's a queen. Feel into your king, feel into your queen. Whether you're a boy or a girl, we both have those energies. Don't think it, feel it. And as you sit in this chair, grounded to the earth, Mother Earth, through gravity, we take for granted. Feel into that connection to Mother Earth, the feminine energy within us that nurtures and cares and loves all of life. Feel into that feminine energy within you that loves and nurtures and cares. And allow yourself to feel the energy of above, often called the masculine principle, the father sky, infinite possibilities. All those stars and all those galaxies are within you and me. What does it feel like to be a star, a bright light, infinite possibilities? Feel into that creative part of yourself. And finally, open your heart a little further. That still point within us, that stillness of unconditional love. Open your heart even wider and allow yourself to fall into that emptiness, to that stillness of unconditional love. No conditions, only pure, loving consciousness, the essence of who we are. Feel into that space. Allow the sound of that bell in my voice to wake us up from any of our thoughts, our beliefs, our opinions, our stories, any narratives we've found ourselves locked into, and let go of them. Fall back into the sweetness, the beauty, the stillness of not knowing unconditional love. Not knowing the mind, but knowing from a place of love. It's a different kind of knowing. Knowing you're loved. Knowing you are loved, and that's all that matters. Allow the sound of that bell in my voice to wake us up from any thoughts, opinions, beliefs we have, and let them go and fall back into the stillness of unconditional love. And that's our final bell. Welcome back. How you feeling? There you go. Heart. How are you feeling? How you feeling? I feel a little energized. The message I got was to listen better, listen more. So I've thrown out an opportunity. I want to talk about this more. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your solutions, your ideas. That's what I want to hear. That was my message to my was to be a better listener. But today I had to come out and throw out a big bombshell to throw out for us to converse about. So let's come tomorrow. Let's talk more. I want to hear more about. I want to hear more from you. I want to hear some of your ideas, not just for yourself, but what are you doing to help support? One, are you behind this idea? Are you behind the mandate to love and support each other and unite the country and get control of this virus? It's mine. It doesn't have to be yours. It's my mandate. That's my mission. And while we have the sanctuary, it's a safe place for all of us to come and share whatever we're going through. Our thoughts, our feelings, it's safe. We're not going to call each other names. We're not going to make fun of each other. It's a safe sanctuary for us to share what we're going through, to share our victories, our celebrations, our ideas, our challenges. That's what a sanctuary is. So we can let them go and go into a deeper sense of truth with meditation. So nobody's right, nobody's wrong. I'm not right, I'm not wrong. I don't know. I'm just here sharing what comes up for me. So thank you. Thank you for letting me hold this space for you today. And thank you for being here. And may love and prosperity continue to prevail. All is well.